All right, guys, I'm out here on the porch because the wife's in there doing the kitchen. She's got her music playing and blaring on the Echo Show. So since Alexa is entertaining her while she's doing the kitchen, I'm out here on the porch. Sucking down vitamin water like crazy. I am so dehydrated. I think I could open the thing. It's lemonade flavored vitamin water. So anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about the protest that happened yesterday, and I'm going to talk about the videos that I uploaded and talk a little bit about those. I'm going to clarify a lot of things. Thank you for those of you who comment in the comment section and say, I have an issue with what you said. Boom. Or I have an issue with what you did. Boom. Because it allows me to go back and relook at something and speak on it. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I overlook things. Sometimes I don't realize I'm not being clear when I speak. And in that situation, you have to understand there's people yelling here. There's people yelling down there. This guy over here is yelling a racist comment. This guy over here's got a sign up in the air. And so I'm trying to capture all of this. And sometimes I may comment on something I see, but my camera's pointed straight ahead. And you're like, I don't understand what he's talking about. It's just, you get over 50 and
my mind wanders.
It happens. But, I'm going to clarify some of the things. Hopefully you'll understand some of the things that I said or did out there. Somebody commented that I didn't make a comment on an incident that happened. I may not have saw it because every time I would turn towards the street, the sun would throw a glare across my screen and I couldn't see nothing but the sun, the glare. And that's why I was like tipping my head. You couldn't see me doing it, but maybe you saw the phone moving a little. It's because I was trying to cast a shadow on the screen so that I could see what I was recording, make sure I was recording the right thing. So the incident that happened, and I'm going to talk about it, was the girl who did something to a deputy. I may not have saw that. That may have been when the glare was on my camera because that's when I had turned right into the sun to record that. So it may have thrown a glare across my screen and I didn't see it. I saw it when I posted the video. I did see it and I said, oh, that was wrong. And then everybody's saying you didn't even comment on that. So I'm going to comment on it now. I'm not perfect, But people were saying, you're not part of the media. Yeah, I'm part of the media. The social media. Get used to it. It's here. Anybody that does a video and posts it on YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you're part of the social media. And so, you people are going to just have to get used to us Americans. How do you love my trash? I got to take the trash out. You people are going to have to get used to people saying I'm part of the media who are just out there with an iPhone and a mic talking because we are part of the social media. We're here to stay. But moving along. So what happened? I'm going to get to the protest now. I'm going to try to go from the beginning to the end. It's probably going to be jumbled in parts, but I'm going off my memory here. So when I first walked up, there were a line of BLM protesters on Yucaipa Boulevard. They all had signs. They were all shouting. And you hear, that is lemonade. And you hear me say, BLM, anti-cops, anti-police, or something like that. I wasn't saying all BLM protesters are anti-police. I see how that could have been misunderstood. Many BLM supporters actually back the police. They actually defend and support law enforcement. Everybody keeps saying BLM who hate the cops. They don't hate the cops. What BLM supporters do not like, same as I, are law enforcement who bully people for no reason, or they abuse the authority and powers of their badge to assault people, to commit battery, to commit murder, and just say, well, hey, I'm a cop. It's fucking justified. Derek Chauvin, was he a good cop? No, we hate that cop, don't we? Yeah. Was the cop in DeKalb County, Georgia, I forget his name, but he shot an unarmed, naked Air Force veteran who was running at him asking for help, and he shot him twice in the chest. He died. The guy got 12 years for manslaughter, but he told his partner and put in the report the man was wrestling with him and tried to get his gun away from him, and he had to use he had to use lethal force. he did use excessive force because a video came out that showed the man was shot from 6 feet away before he even got near the officer, and the deputy had a taser on his belt. Naked, unarmed, on drugs, shot with probably a Glock 19 because the cop was scared instead of using his taser. But my point is, that's who Black Lives Matter people are protesting, cops like that are abusing their power. Back to the original thought. So when I walk up and I say BLM, anti-police, what it was I was looking over here. My camera was like this, but I was looking over here, and there were two signs that said F the police. And you couldn't hear it on this mic because he was so far away, but a guy was leaning out the car going, I hate the cops, I hate the cops, you know. And I said, that's when I said anti-police are here. And some people thought I was saying BLM anti-police. No, that's not what I was saying, and I apologize gravely for that. It's like you said, you know, like sometimes I don't realize things. I'm trying to capture everything at one time, and I just commented on that and didn't realize I didn't turn my camera to show you what I was talking about. But that's what I was referring to, was the guys with the F the police signs, and I said anti-police are here. So that's that clarification. No, not all BLM are anti-police, but those two guys apparently were very, very upset at one of the deputies because he was pointing at the deputy over in the grass and yelling, I hate the cops. So moving on, there's not a whole lot of things I'm going to get to. This isn't going to be much longer, I don't think. Somebody had said, let's just get to the elephant in the room. A lot of people are saying I didn't comment on the girl that ran up and punched the deputy in the back. I probably didn't see it. I caught it in the video. I saw it when I go, oh, yeah, I see that. But I probably didn't catch it at the time because that's when I turned as a deputy. Remember, the deputy runs around me and I turn and I had a glare across my iPhone. That's about the time she did that. So I probably didn't see it at the time, and I was trying to get my shade on there so I could see what I was recording. However, if you want me to comment on it, I will tell you that she was wrong. And yes, she should have been arrested for battery on a peace officer. Yeah, you don't hit the cop. I don't care what the cops are doing. You don't run up and hit a cop. Well, I shouldn't say I don't care what the cops are doing. If a cop is unlawfully, looks like he's trying to kill you, yeah, defend yourself if you have to. But in this instance, he was trying to exact an arrest, and she ran up and looked like she either slapped him or punched him on the back. Yeah, she should have been arrested for battery on a peace officer. Again, you're all saying, well, you didn't comment on that. I probably didn't see it. That was probably when I had the glare on my phone. I did see it when I posted the video on YouTube, and yeah, you asked me about it, I'll answer you. Yeah, it was wrong. Dead wrong. But that's not to say all of them were like that. She did it. Not all of them. They didn't see all of them run out there and punch the cop. She did it. You know, the rest of them were on the sidewalk protesting. Get to that. So why did I go off on that sergeant? What happened was you had two blue line group come up, and the two guys from the blue line group, which is somebody took offense to me saying the Trump crowd. Well, 94% of them had Trump hats, Trump shirts, and Trump flags. Looks like a Trump crowd to me. So, but because he was offended, I'm going to start saying blue line crowd. Because that is, they were the ones cheering and clapping for the police, so they're the blue line crowd. That's not, I don't mean that offensively. I support the deputies that were out there. I even told Deputy Miller and whoever was with her, you guys doing a great job. You know, they did. They were holding themselves. They could have got worse. It could have got worse. Anyway, so back to it. So why did I go off on that sergeant? So these two guys from the blue line crowd walk up and they're yelling at some of the Black Lives Matter protesters, who of course start yelling back. That's what happens. You get into a verbal confrontation. The sergeant came up. He talked to them real calmly, and, you know, come on, man, come on, man, go on. Okay, just go, guys. And then he turns out, okay, they're leaving. Now get. And I'm like, whoa, what are you yelling at us for? And then he said, I'm going to arrest everybody here. That's what he said. And so that's when I started yelling. I said, are you crazy? And he said, I'll arrest you all. And I said, you arrest me, that's a Bain Act violation. It is a violation of the Tom Bain Act of California because I was not breaking the law. They weren't breaking the law. Just because they were shouting at the guys, that doesn't mean they were breaking the law. They were doing free speech. Everybody out there was yelling. You had people with bullhorns yelling. But he wanted to arrest them because they wanted to yell at those two guys. That's a violation of the Tom Bain Act of California because he would then be prohibiting them from exercising their First Amendment right to free speech. And that's why I yelled at that deputy. And that's why I told that deputy, sergeant, a sergeant of all things, a guy with stripes, a supervisor. And I told him, that is an unlawful arrest. And I told him, arrest me. I go, arrest me. I'm not breaking the law. I need a good old lawsuit. I need a new fridge. You know, I jest, but that, you know, that's the thing is, no, that would be an unlawful arrest. He would be arresting me unlawfully on camera. See, got it documented. So then he turned around and walked away, I think because he realized this guy's not stupid. He knows the Tom Bain Act. He knows the First Amendment. Okay. Some of you might disagree, but that's how it went down. And then, of course, I said later he put his foot in his mouth. He did put his foot in his mouth. But you see, I wasn't out there going off on all the cops. The reason I did that to him was I corrected him. He was in the wrong. He was escalating a situation that he could have de-escalated if he would have just calmed down, took a sip of water, and said, hey, guys, look. But he lost his temper, he got overheated, and he started escalating. So I corrected him.
But I corrected them, sir.
And that's what I do most of the time. Those of you who say I yell at cops and stuff, there's a reason for it. And you should go back 5 minutes before I'm yelling at him and see what the guy did to get yelled at for. I don't know why I said that wrong, but I need a drink of lemonade. But no, if you see me yelling at the cops, go back 5 minutes prior and see what I'm yelling at him for. Go back and see, okay, what did these guys do to him? Because usually they did something they shouldn't have been doing. And so he put his foot in his mouth and I corrected him. I said, you're wrong. That's an unlawful arrest. Stop. And he did. He turned around and walked away. So there was that situation. There was a girl who was walking back and forth up by 4th Street in front of all the deputies with her cameras. She was allowed to do that. They were letting her do that as a First Amendment protester. Girl goes up in a Black Lives Matter car, stops. She gets out. She wants to ask them questions. And I literally heard from the pepper shotgun the guy had. That shoots those. I don't know if he had pepper balls in there or plastic rubber pellets, but he had a shotgun. And it wasn't like a 12 gauge. It was one of those with yellow that has either rubber pellets or those pepper balls. But he went, I go, whoa, that's why she throws her hands up. You see her get out of the car and she throws her hands up. That's in, I believe it's in chapter 2 of the protests. It may be at the end of chapter 1. But then you hear the deputy get on the intercom and go, get in your car and leave the area. All she wanted to do was ask a question. I think she was going to ask why they were arrested, those guys. But they're like, get in your car and get out of the area. While you got another one walking in front of them, back and forth. A little inconsistency there. Little inconsistency. And then you notice, too, that same deputy who was Sergeant Ruiz. And Sergeant Ruiz, I don't mean to bust you out. We'll have a beer someday, maybe. But I did disagree with him going,
attention BLM protesters, this is your dispersal order.
well, why BLM? But then he corrected himself, and I think someone may have said something to him, or he saw me recording and said I should correct that. All protesters. Yeah, well, that's not what you said at first. At first, he said all BLM protesters. This is your dispersal order. Why BLM protesters? Now, here's what I'm going to get to. This is the last thing I'm going to get to. Because I did see a lot of the blue line crowd getting out of line as well. And I'm going to go through that right now. There are a lot of people from the blue line crowd. Now, people are saying, how come you're on the side of Black Lives Matter? Why are you on their side? Technically, I'm on nobody's side. And I mean that. Technically, I'm out there for the Constitution. Free speech. They both had the right to protest. They both had the right to free speech. They both had the right to peaceably assemble. All of that. Were they wrong for blocking the road? I mean, lawfully, yeah, it's unlawful to block the road like that. Sure, it is. But Martin Luther King and John Lewis, they just blocked the road back in the 60s when they crossed over in Selma. You know, Martin Luther King Jr., he blocked the road all the time. Other people have blocked the road. Were they wrong? I want to know. Give me some consistency here, guys. Were they wrong? One person told me, no, they weren't wrong. They were real civil rights. Well, get out of here with that. Protester is a protester. He said they weren't rioting and looting. Well, neither were a lot of the people that were out there yesterday. They were on the sidewalk just like the other people with bullhorns and signs. But people are saying about me, oh, so you're on their side. I'm not on anybody's side. I'm there for accountability and transparency. Why does it seem like I'm more on the Black Lives Matter side? And why did I say I'm on their side? I wasn't necessarily talking about Black Lives Matter. I was talking about those people. I'm going to tell you why right now. So I was over with the Blue Line crew, the ones who were supporting and defending the police, and were applauding for them. That's good. Those are our boys in tan. But a lot of the whites from the Blue Line crowd were yelling at me like, hey, there's the liar. Hey, liar. Hey, there's a joke. That guy's a joke. You're a jerk. You're not in the media, you jerk off. Yeah, get it right, buddy. You know, that's what they were all saying to me. And I was like, wow, I'm just trying to document. And when I crossed over to where the Black Lives Matter people were, every one of them were like, I like this guy. Hey, how you doing? All right. Hey, thank you for being out here. We appreciate you. And so whose side do you think I'm going to be standing on? I'm not going to stand over there where people are saying I'm a joke and I'm a jerk. And you can say it in these comments. I don't care. But I'm not going to stand with those people. You jerk. Hey, joke. Hey, moron. Hey, and screaming at me and telling me I'm a liar. I'm going to go stand with the people that appreciate me and say, hey, we appreciate you being out here. You speak the truth. And, I'm going to stand with those people. So who the hell do you think I'm going to stand with? The people that are nice to me. That's human nature. To stand with people that are nice to you, not with people that are degrading you and going off on you. And by the way, I really tried to catch some Black Lives Matter people throwing out racial slurs. I did. Why? Because I wanted to prove to people that there are some of those people that do that too. I didn't find any. I'm sorry, I didn't. I found a lot that were defending their stance on people of color. A lot of them were saying brown, go brown, and Black Lives Matter, and that's fine. They're allowed to say that. That doesn't mean they're racist. It just means they're standing for their own culture. The inner city, when you go to an inner city, do you know why liquor stores are in the inner cities? You don't see many liquor stores in upscale of Beverly Hills, do you? You see a lot of liquor stores in places like San Bernardino and Compton and South Central. And you know why? Because it keeps them, the alcoholics coming in, and it keeps them drunk, and it keeps them in the streets. That's just an opinion. Now, that's my short answer. I mean, we could spend another hour and a half on that. But that's why you see a lot of liquor stores in the inner cities, because they want to keep them poor. They want to keep them down. You don't see liquor stores in upscale Beverly Hills, Bel Air. I don't even think there's a liquor store in West Hollywood. I've been there hundreds of times on Hollywood Boulevard. I don't remember seeing a liquor store, come to think of it. But that's their culture, and they want to stand for it. So they say Black Power or go brown. That's fine. That's not racist. They weren't saying anything to the white people. They were talking about themselves. But I did hear from the Blue Line crowd that support the police, I did hear one guy in a green shirt, and it's in my video. It's either, I don't remember if it's chapter 1 or chapter 2, but it's in the video. There's a guy in a green shirt yelling, "Black people, come to your white overseer." I'm like, yeah, they're trying to say Yucaipa isn't racist, and you're standing here yelling that. And I didn't hear any of the other people around him go, hey, dude, shut up, man. You're making us look bad. See, that's why people are saying we're racist. Nobody said nothing to them. In fact, a couple of guys were laughing about it. But you people, particularly Yucaipa Strong, now I'm not calling out Yucaipa Strong in a negative manner. Listen to me, Yucaipa Strong. You in Yucaipa Strong that say, we're not racist. We're not, whatever. I believe maybe there's one or two people in that group that aren't racist. You need to tell the people that are saying that stuff, that guy in the green shirt, you need to say, hey, man, shut up. That's why they say we're racist. Stop it. Nobody said that to him. They laughed. The guy in the bullhorn yelling, go back to your own country. And this girl goes, this is my country. And he goes, no, you're not American. You're not white. But Yucaipa isn't racist. And I don't believe all of Yucaipa is racist. I don't believe every white in Yucaipa is racist. But I believe that it exists here. There are people in this city that are, and they don't mind expressing it in public. I don't see anybody else going up to them and going, dude, stop that, man. That's why they're saying we're racist. Shut up. I don't see anybody doing that. Why not? You're tired of people calling you a racist, yet you got people right there on your line yelling it. Walk down there and go, shut up. So I didn't hear any Black Lives Matter people doing that, but I heard people on the other side of the street yelling stuff. And it was nasty stuff. Racist stuff. Prejudice stuff. The girl on the Black Lives Matter bullhorn, she was making a point. She was trying to say good things. Like she said, we live here. We're from this country. We are American. She was saying that, and he was yelling back at her, you're not American. Go back to your own country. And da-da-da. They were yelling racist stuff, and the Black Lives Matter people were saying, no, we're this. They were trying to educate them. Imagine that. Imagine how everybody talks bad about Black Lives Matter, yet their group was trying to educate, and the people who say, we're going to defend our city by what? Throwing out racial slurs and racist comments? Ugly insults. That's how you're defending your city? Saying, get out of our town. This ain't your town. This is Yucaipa, California. A town in southern United States. Southwestern United States. Anybody can come to this town, man. It's America. You want to come here and visit? Come here and visit. Shop in our shops. Camp in the campground over here. You want to move here? Buy a friggin' house. They're building enough of them. But to say, get out of my town by sundown, boy. What? What are you, Gary Cooper? Some of you younger folks won't get that, but I'll tell you what. It's about as hot out here as high noon. No, I just wanted to clarify some things, and I'm sorry I talked so long. I just cannot make this short. It seems like you just talk for a minute and 5 minutes goes by, and you're like, damn. So if I tried to make this a short video, most of you would go, I don't even know what he's talking about. And you probably still will say that. But that's hopefully that brings a little bit more understanding to people of to where I stand and where I stood out there. I didn't see everything. The arrest that happened at the Arco, was it Arco? No, the Shell station, right? It was the Shell station, was it? Across from Rite Aid, where that arrest took place. I don't know who was in the right and who was in the wrong there. I'm hearing from both sides that this one did wrong or this one did wrong. But I do know that all in all, the police used the amount of force needed to exact the arrest. The reason he went at gunpoint was because the guy had a bat, and that's a weapon. He didn't shoot the guy. Now that too, I heard people from the white line, or not the white line, I'm thinking whites, the blue line crew across the street with the Trump flags and stuff. I heard people over there yelling, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. Yeah, that's the problem. That's what Black Lives Matter are trying to protest. shooting somebody that's complying, because he did. He put the bat down. He went like this. He got on the ground. They're all yelling, shoot him, like a bunch of goddamn, I don't know. It reminded me of that movie, The Lottery.
Come on, hurry up. I can't run. You go ahead, I'll catch up with you. Here, Davy. It isn't fair! Oh, it isn't fair! It isn't right!
You ever see that movie, The Lottery? Read the book, The Lottery. That's what that reminded me of. But the cops, I think the deputies did well. I don't know if the arrest was right or wrong. I didn't see everything. Those of you who saw it, now some people were recording right there. You can make a better decision on that. And just let me know what your thoughts are on that. But I do know the deputies used a good use of force. He didn't fire on him. He was concentrated. He was focused. He knew what he needed to do, get that guy to drop his weapon. He did. They arrested him. There you go. So that's why a lot of times I'll say good job for the deputies. It's not because I'm against Black Lives Matter. It's not because I'm against this one or that one. It's because if I see the deputies do something that at that moment in time I see it's a good job, or he did right, or he held his temper, or I'll say good job, deputy. Good job, guys. You know, because it could have got worse. He could have shot the guy, but he didn't. Because he was focused, and he knew that there was cameras there, and he said, and probably if there weren't cameras there, he still probably wouldn't have shot him, because he was focused. He knew what he was doing. He knew who he was going after, and he arrested the guy. So good job to him. I don't know that deputy's name, but give him a pat on the back for me. If he arrested the wrong person, somebody else may know that or may know more. Let me know. Again, I was across the street. I was trying to get over there. All I saw was that the deputy did a good job. I don't know if the rest was right or wrong, you know, and I'm not going to try to guess based on what people say. Those of you who were up there recording close, let me know. I think I'm going to close it. It's been 27, coming up on 28 minutes. I don't want to talk for more than 30. Thank you guys if you've been listening this long. Hopefully now, when you go back, if you do go back and watch, or if you haven't seen them, go watch Yucaipa Protest Chapters 1, Chapter 2, and the final chapter. You will understand a little more now why I say some of the things I say, or why I did some of the things I did in the video. I'm not one side or the other. Basically, I did say I was on their side. That's because they were being nicer to me. That's the only thing that was. If you guys would have been nicer on the other side, I probably would have stayed over with you and said you're nicer. I don't know. But you weren't. You were yelling racist slurs and everything else. I didn't hear that from across the street. Say whatever you want. The people blocking the street, that's another matter. Yeah, they were breaking the law. But, and so yeah, so maybe they should have received citations or what have you. But to call an unlawful assembly for everybody just because of them, as you see, they didn't have to do unlawful assembly. Everybody ended up leaving at the end of the day. They didn't fire pepper balls. They didn't fire gas canisters. They didn't fire, you know, I can't think of it right now. But the boom, they didn't have to fire those. So they did a pretty good job at letting everybody protest to the finish line. But I can't fault those people who are blocking the road 100% fully. I mean, lawfully, yeah, they're breaking the law. But as far as protesting, peaceably assembling, Martin Luther King did too. They all blocked the street, walked up down the street. Nobody could drive, and hundreds of them. There nobody saying nothing about that. Thanks, guys, for watching Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. Everybody else from coast to coast.